My name is Steven Kjergaard. I am the Coeur d'Alene Airport Director. I am an employee of the county, which is a little bit of an oddity for most airports in the region. We are actually usually owned by cities, but I am an employee of the county here at the airport. What I do on a typical day is I am the landlord for about 130 different users of the airport, but we have about 250 different based airplanes on the field. But we also have a lot of users on the field besides just our tenants there, so we can do a lot of different things. The airport itself has 2 separate runways. We also have about 1,300 acres of land that we can develop and continue to grow and also grow into that. So there's a lot of different things that the airport can grow and be much bigger than it is even today. Of course, we're also looking to expand to buy more land, because we know land is the one thing that doesn't continue to grow in the region. So we will also continue to see that in our opportunities as well. And of course, the Coeur d'Alene Airport also has the ability to support anything from parachute operations, as we're doing right now, all the way up to 757 operations. In fact, we recently just had military operations of C-17s operating in and out of the airport, and those were some of the largest aircraft that we can support in and out. So it's a very diverse airport and a very diverse clientele that we see in and out. As of this time, the Coeur d'Alene Airport does not have commercial service. There is commercial service available from Spokane International Airport, which is about 45 minutes to an hour away from the Coeur d'Alene Airport. So there's just that opportunity. Some of the businesses that do operate on the airport are Empire Aerospace. We have multiple flight schools. We also have Unitech and also Infinite Electronics, as well as a host of other aviation-related businesses. The Coeur d'Alene Airport, the 2 runways that we have are 7,400 feet by 100 and 5,400 feet by 75. So the airport is always unique in how it helps the businesses around us. A lot of people have a tendency to not understand how an airport can relate to a business and how it can grow and foster a community as well. One of the biggest avenues that we always talk about is economic activity at the airport. In a 2018 study, the state found that the Coeur d'Alene Airport generated $208 million of economic impact to the region, with approximately $55 million of it being direct payroll. So that's a pretty significant number of employment that results in operations of the airport. But we also look at what is that other connection points being. If we look at the communities that are growing around the lake and other business adventures throughout the region, a lot of the owners and operators of those businesses all fly in and out of the airport today. The biggest example I could look at is there's a call center that operates in and out of the airport, there's a call center that operates in the Coeur d'Alene region. Their management team typically flies into the Coeur d'Alene Airport. And they would have to fly into Spokane if they were not able to, which would add a great deal amount of time for them, a lot more challenges for them, and it's a much better opportunity for the airport in the region that they can fly direct into Coeur d'Alene and be a much shorter commute. We are seeing similar trends as anybody in North Idaho is seeing right now. We are seeing significant growth in all sectors, not just private aviation, but also commercial aviation. That we're seeing growth in hangar development, we're seeing growth in all of our operations. So it's definitely an interesting time at the Coeur d'Alene Airport that we're seeing a variation significantly. In fact, we are starting to run out of hangar development space that's readily available today, and that's something we continue to work on with our federal agency partners and our state agency partners to continue to ensure that we can meet the demands of the future. So it's very interesting to see what we go on today. As we continue to look to the future and our challenges that we continue to face, we are seeing a shortage of staffing, and not just ourselves, but also throughout the rest of the airport as well. Because we are, as the airport itself, a very small piece of the entire puzzle of how to make an airport work. And so we're starting to see a ripple effect of the community's pressures from the developments and other things due to issues with housing and other problems. But we're starting to see some of it lessen due to changing of ownership and changing of culture within those regions. But it's definitely something that we're seeing throughout the airport itself. The one good thing is that airports and aviation typically are very good paying jobs, as we're seeing those not have problems. And also nationwide, if you look at there's a pilot shortage throughout it. There's also a mechanic shortage. There's anything involving aviation, there's currently a shortage even prior to COVID. So we're definitely having other things going on in aviation, which is why we always hope to see flight schools, A&P schools, anything that we can see grow. We want to see that development onto the airport. The airport continues to try to develop partnerships throughout the community as much as possible, whether it's through chambers, whether it's through businesses individually. We look to broaden our reach and our communications as much as possible. Our goal is always to be the first thought of an aviation and airport throughout the region, and not just be thought of as the playground for the rich and famous. Our goal is to be an integral part of the community, and so we do that. We attempt to do that by integrating ourselves in the business community. That way our outreach is much broader and much deeper than just ourselves. We continue to work on future initiatives as we grow. The current initiatives are a lot of safety related projects that are dictated to us by the Federal Aviation Administration. But we are continuing, as I said, to continue to partner with our community leaders and community partners as much as we can. We are also continuing to try to just do general outreach to the general public as well through aviation days such as we did a few years ago at Coeur d'Alene Air Expo. Our big thing is we are trying to be much more open and available to the community as much as we can. So that's our goal, is to be available and invite the community out whenever we possibly, because most people see airports as the fence that planes land at, and sometimes a parking garage. So that's our goal, is to continue to broaden that understanding of what airports do and what we see and how we operate. One of the positives of a business relocating to North Idaho should always be that the region itself is a great place to relocate. It's a great place to raise a family. It's also a great opportunity to grow a business. In my opinion, there's a lot of great untapped potential to see development continue, and not just aviation related, but just in general. As a person that has a business degree and understands business and operates an airport as a business, there's opportunities that I foresee this region having significant development in all facets of business. So I think there's a general positive nature that could definitely see a lot of growth in all sectors. The greatest benefit that I have seen from CDA Economic Development Corporation is definitely the connections abilities, the communications that a lot of times will always slip through the cracks of communicating through everything. A lot of people get tied up, especially in my world of government, we get tied up in running the operations of our worlds. So we don't always get the opportunity to have the conversations that an economic corporation could. And we also have the limitations of not being able to have those conversations without them being on public record all the time, where negotiations really should be in privately held conversations. So that's where I see a definite positive for supporting and seeing the Economic Development Corporation continue to grow, because it helps support jobs growth and also communities growth as well, because our population continues to seem to attract people who are retirees, and while that's a great thing to have, it also we want to see businesses grow and more industry into this area as well.